All right, good morning. Now we are doing a psychic medium reading with Ron today. And I didn't ask you, Ron, but is it all right to use your first name?
It is.
Okay. And
Yes,
you are okay with this being recorded and put on social media?
I am.
Perfect. Okay, and it may or may not end up that way. But I want to get started here. So I'm an evidential psychic medium, and what I like to do is bring through evidence of your life as well as evidence of your loved ones in spirit and kind of bring together. I want you to really feel that they're in the room with you. I want you to feel their love. I want you also to kind of use their insight and advice. I feel like I've got a lot of people here that want to give you advice. I don't know why, but I'm just feeling like they want to tell you this and this is what you got to do. So we'll just go ahead and get started. So I do have a woman here who feels like mom. She feels like she passes and it feels like she's sick before she passes. So I know she's not well, feels like cancer perhaps. And I want to say that there's something about not saying goodbye or not being with you at the time of her passing. Do you understand this?
Yes.
And would you understand this to be your mother?
No.
Okay, but you understand the rest of it?
Yes.
Oh, because I'm really feeling this very nurturing feeling for you. Like I really love you like a mother.
Mm,
And love you like yeah, like I love my kids. It's what I'm feeling. Is that I
mhm.
feel like I love my kids.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Okay, good. Well, give me a little hint. Is this grandmother?
It is my grandmother, yes.
Okay, and this would be on mom's side?
Yes.
Okay, because she because I'm feeling mom, I'm feeling maternal, I'm feeling all of that. She says that
She was very much like a mom to
second
me.
mom. Okay, because I feel like she's saying it was just the two of you. Sometimes it was just the two of you. Like I feel like you had a very close relationship with her, um,
We did.
and like and it's interesting because you're following in her footsteps, or you're doing something she was doing. Do you understand this, or that you're very much like her? I just want to. I just feel like this connection, like
We
you
were very much like each other, and I think we pretty much understood each other in a manner that,
is different
it's
than the rest.
just exactly, exactly.
She says that you have felt some guilt about not being there when she passed. Do you understand this?
Yes.
And
Yes.
she said, oh, and I want to say, my love, my love, my love, don't be sad. Don't worry about that. I know how much I got goosebumps right now. She's like, I love you so much. There's nothing in the world that would hurt me or make me feel bad. I know you were here with me. I know you were. And she's telling me that she spends pretty much a lot of time in your energy field. So I feel like she's with you all the time.
I
And
think about her all the time, so
do you understand her being very loving, but also a little bit spicy? Like she could like tell
yes.
you how it is
Yeah.
and tell you how you're
Yes.
like
Yes.
because I do feel like she was very protective of you or very defensive of you and would kind of say, all right, that's enough, you're not going to pick on my kid no more, that kind of energy.
Yep.
uh
Yep. Yep.
she she um she says that she has is your mom an only child, or there are two?
My mom is an only child.
Okay, because but she said it's like I had two. I think she's talking about you. It's like I had two children. Um, okay. And mom is still alive. This is right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Who's moving? Is there someone moving?
Moving in the sense of like to a different location.
Yeah, like is mom moving? She's talking about somebody moving.
No, I just moved to Italy.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. All right. Hold on one second. Because she's talking about the move. And
So
I feel like
I moved last year here.
okay, so it feels almost like there were some emotions around this, or there was some big decisions, and I almost feel like a separation of family, of separation of. Were you just recently
Yes.
divorced, or
Uh there it's complicated, but yes, I was divorced. Well, I'm divorced, but I was recently separated from my most recent partner.
okay, because she's talking about how all of this kind of tied up together for you has really been a very emotional struggle for you of going
Yes.
through and being separated from your family, but also the separation that you had just recently with your partner or with your spouse.
Yes.
Um,
Yep.
and I feel like things are still kind of raw here for you, or they're still feeling very, you're still kind of weighty a little bit.
I'm still working through stuff. Yes. I mean, internally, I'm still working through stuff. But last year was a very, very challenging year for me in the sense of, internally.
Yeah, and she's making that kind of that comment. She also wants me to tell you happy birthday. So I don't know if birthdays are coming up for you, but I feel like I want to say happy birthday. Did it just pass or is it just coming up?
No, my birthday is in November, but a couple days ago was my daughter's birthday, who her middle name is after my grandmother.
Okay, so this is perfect because this is what she's talking about. And I kind of felt we were going to talk about your kids a little bit because she does want to talk about them. So that's her segue into I want to talk about my kids. So, and you said earlier that you have 3 children.
I do.
Okay. And is it 2 boys and a girl?
It's 2 girls and a boy.
Okay, hold on one second. So she makes me feel as though now the oldest is the oldest a boy?
Mm-mm.
Hold on one second. Why am I getting my wires crossed here? So she's talking about the oldest boy, and she's talking about having this one having a bit of a struggle with things or a bit of a hard time adjusting. Do you understand this?
Mm-hmm. That's my
Um,
son, but he's the youngest.
oh, he's the youngest. Okay, because she's talking because I can see a boy. She's talking about the boy. She says that he's very sensitive like you
Very.
and very much
Yes.
like you. And
Yes.
and is talking about how she has that same protective energy around him that she does around you when you were young and around
That's good to know because she didn't really get to spend a lot of time with him.
okay. And do you understand a Jacob or a John or Jacob? Like I'm getting a strong J sound.
Well, John is my middle name.
Oh, okay. All right. And I feel like I have another somebody coming in here. I feel like they're just kind of all really pushing here. So I want to talk about first of all, I want you to know that your grandmother is very much watching out for your children, and especially that sensitive one. The oldest is your daughter, you said, and it's recently her birthday. She's talking about
No, no, my oldest is not. My oldest, it wasn't her recently her birthday. It's my middle one.
oh the middle one.
That
Okay,
yeah, but
okay.
my oldest, yeah.
So who's following in your footsteps?
Uh, that's a good question. I mean, what do you mean by my footsteps?
I
Like
almost
career
feel like,
wise?
yeah, I feel like somebody wants to do what you're doing. Like one of your kids is very interested in what you're doing. Do you understand this?
Um, I mean, I want to, but I don't want to force myself to think that because don't all parents want their kids to follow in their footsteps?
No.
Yeah, exactly. Um, I would say, most likely my son is curious. He's showing curiosity, but I think he's very sensitive and very scared. So he's you know,
Very
he
creative.
he
I'm really getting an artistic flair with them, like with this. And is this the younger son that the youngest one that you're talking about?
yeah, yeah.
I do feel like grandmother is saying he's just like you or will be just like you. So it'll be
Awesome.
interesting to see how that plays out for you because there's definitely a connection. He looks up to you
Hmm.
a lot. Like he really is very in tune with what his dad's doing all the time. Um, okay, so I feel like I have a gentleman here who wants to come through, and this person feels almost like a father figure for you. He's a little bit of a bigger guy. He's a little like he had a bit of a tummy, and he's talking about he's got kind of a louder voice, kind of a gruffer voice, like how you doing, kid? Like wants to smack you on the back. Do you understand somebody like this?
Um, I mean, I think so because
I'm
I
getting
was very young.
I'm getting heart issues. I'm getting
Hmm.
like
Yep.
he had heart issues. Would this be
Yep.
grandfather for you?
Yeah, that's my grandfather on my dad's side. He actually died of a heart attack.
Okay. So he's coming through, and he's got a bigger personality. Like he's like,
Yes.
how you doing? Like he talks a little bit louder, like so he's kind of
Hmm.
edging his way in here. I'm getting Henry, or I'm getting Henry, Hank, Henry. Do you understand an H sound with him? I'm gonna
Nope.
write it down. Every time I get a name or a sound like that, I want to kind of keep it in the back of our, so that
Okay.
it comes back.
Yep.
And I'll always give you like what I'm getting. He's talking about how, was there a bit of a problem between your dad and yourself, communication or struggles between
Yes.
the two of you? Because
Yes.
he's bringing up that it was, it's hard for him to, there's a little bit of kind of maybe regret or remorse about, maybe I should have done things a little bit differently with your dad, or maybe I should have done things a little differently in his own communication with your dad, because it feels like this is kind of
Yes.
a thing that has been passed down. And
Exactly.
he's talking about, he's kind of a tough guy. He's kind of a
Yep.
guy's guy,
Yep. Yep.
and he's saying maybe that was a little bit too much for him, or maybe he shouldn't have been
Yep.
so much like that, because he was very hard lined. This is
Yep.
black and white.
Yep.
So know that he is wanting me to share with you how much pride he has in you and the man that you've become, despite the things that you've had to go through with your own dad and with your own upbringing and your own family, because it feels a little bit like dad has perhaps maybe not done as well as he should have done with you. Do you understand this?
Yes, I do.
And I don't, with this maybe being on social media, I don't really want to get into too many details, but I just want to share that with you, because it feels much thicker than what I'm bringing forward to you right now. Like
And it is, but it
and
makes
I
complete
feel like I
sense.
could really go in there, but I feel like that's just really the deep thing to talk about, right?
It
So
makes sense.
we're just gonna leave it at that, but know that grandfather has some regrets around things and around the way he treated. Does he have two sons?
He does.
Because he's talking about, your dad is the oldest. Is this right?
No, my dad is actually the youngest.
Interesting. Is the oldest passed?
Yes. But
Okay.
the oldest child of his was my aunt, and she's passed.
Okay.
My uncle is still alive.
Okay. Because I just had somebody come in here and say, well, I'm his. Like, I just feel like, oh, I'm his. So I know that feels like one of his children is with him. She feels like she has breast cancer on board here, or a cancer with her, your aunt. And okay, so dad is having health issues now,
Yes.
because they're talking about how your father is kind of full circle, or coming full circle with his life. And this to me means, things that haven't been healed yet, or things that he's had to deal with in his life, are kind of coming and landing in his lap right now. Do you understand this?
I
Like,
mean, to some degree, yes.
because it feels almost like, um, he's feeling a bit more melancholy about his life, and a bit more emotional about his life, and a bit more reflective, I would say.
That's good to know, because I didn't think that my father had that in him, but that's good to know.
And I don't know that he'll admit it.
He
Here's
probably won't. Yeah.
because I think it's all kind of an inner turmoil kind of thing. And this is
Hmm.
this is kind of what they're saying, is like his physical well-being is deteriorating, and it's giving his
Hmm.
emotional body a chance to kind of catch up to
Yep.
what's been happening. And he's been married a couple of times. Is this right, your dad?
He is not.
So,
My uncle has been.
okay. All right, hold on a second. Is there like heart issues in the family?
Yes.
Because I feel like it's like
Yep.
heart
Yep.
attack, heart attack, heart attack.
Yes. Yep. My
You're
dad has had a couple bypass surgeries as
and
well.
you're breaking the genetic, by your the way you're living.
I am so thankful for you telling me this. I am so thankful.
Well, so you're breaking the patterns. You're interrupting the what do they call that? The families that kind of pass things down, even so I'm really into chakra energy, right? And so I truly feel that the things that haven't been healed in us live within us and can create
Mm-hmm.
disease when we don't heal them. And so
Mm-hmm.
you're really doing the work to heal that. So I don't know why I'm doing this, but you're doing the work to heal that that space. And that heart space, it's so interesting because in those heart chakras, in that this is where men, you die immediately of a heart attack. Think about the personalities of your men in your family and the junk that they probably have been withholding, not sharing, not loving, not cuddling, not holding, not pleasing, not, and it just gets built up, right? And in the same context, they don't receive, right? They don't truly know how to receive love. So it's
Mm-hmm.
that flow, and then you're kind of interrupting that whole flow.
This is amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, I love it. And I believe in it wholeheartedly. Like it's my life. So I totally get it. Um, I will tell you that there's an extreme amount of pride for you on the other side. Like I have people around me that are just, I don't want to say shocked, but I want to say they're so surprised at how you've grown as a person and as a man and what you're doing with your life. Because I don't know if you understand this, but some people were not betting for you, they were betting against you. Do you understand this? And they're like, you
Yes.
have really beaten all the odds to be where you are. Do you understand substance abuse, or do you understand alcoholism
Yes.
to be a big part of
Yes.
your, because they're again, don't want to go too deep, but I'm feeling that that had a lot to do with your upbringing. Do you understand this?
Yes.
And they're applauding you that you have beaten that, or that you have come this far. Um, and may I ask, this is kind of I feel like, so sometimes I get postcards from Spirit where they're just like,
Mm-hmm.
literally,
Mm-hmm.
they're just like, I just want to pop in and say hello. And then they
Yeah.
say it. So, because this is not somebody in your family, this feels like a man who meant a lot to you, but wasn't related to you. I feel like I have a mentor here, or I have somebody here that wants to just say, I see you. I'm really proud of you and I love you.
Oh, okay.
And so, and I feel like this has something to do with what you're doing now. I feel like whatever you're doing for a living now, it feels like it's somebody that mentored you or helped you along. And I get that and I feel like passing suddenly with him too. Do you understand this?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
um a Richard, I'm getting a Richard. I don't know if Richard rings a bell for anybody, but it's an R sound. um he says that you've come a long way, or that you've come a long way from when you first began. So talking
Mm.
about people that were counting you out, like, and not, oh, I don't know he's going to get very far with this, but you really have, and there's just a celebration on the other side for you.
Amazing.
Yes. So I'm going to kind of wrap this up right now. Do you have any feedback or anything you would like to share?
Um, Other than the fact that I think you have confirmed something very huge for me, which makes me feel incredibly happy and inspired to continue on this journey that I'm on. No, I mean, um, I'm assuming that all the people that we have spoken about, or the spirits that you have connected with, are of deceased. They're not actual living. Is that correct?
Usually, it's interesting because that can happen. Like I can get
Mm-hmm.
a living soul coming through
Yeah.
to give you a message. So I would say yes, the majority of the time they have passed. Um, but yeah, not always. It's funny. So I do soul readings as well. So I can read into your soul, just like when I drew the picture of you. Like I can go into, your energy, and so I can do
Yeah.
that with all living souls. Because if
Mm-hmm.
you think about it, right? a soul is a soul is a soul. We're
Of
just
course.
here with a physical body. Um,
Exactly.
and we go back to being soul. So
Right. Right.
if you can read a live one, you can read one that has passed. So yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think I don't have any questions. I mean, I'm just sort of still processing what
That's awesome.
what you've just brought onto me and have connected for me. It's awesome. I appreciate it. I really do.
You're so welcome, and it's such a blessing to be able to share this with you today. And I'm going to go ahead and stop our recording, and I want to chit chat with you, so don't hang up.